Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I will be teaching you how to draw a hand. Drawing hands might seem tricky at first, but once you understand their structure, it becomes much easier to create realistic and dynamic drawings. Before we dive in, let me show you some of my hand sketches. This might look complex, but trust me, you can learn to draw hands too, with just a bit of practice and patience. Materials. For this tutorial, I'll be using pencils of different thicknesses, basic shape and structure. Our body is made up of 3D shapes, and hands are no exception. If you feel your hand, you'll notice its rounded shape. It's almost like an ellipse. To start, we simplify the hand into basic shapes. I like to begin by sketching the palm as a row, square, or rectangle. Next, I add a separate shape for the thumb, placed where it naturally connects to the palm. From there, I sketch the fingers, breaking each one into 3 sections using ovals. Each finger has 3 distinct parts, which you can feel on your own hand. Drawing these ovals will help you map out with the fingers' proportions and create a realistic structure. Once the ovals are in place, you can outline the fingers by connecting the shapes. Don't forget to add curves where the ovals meet. Our fingers aren't perfectly straight, and these subtle curves give them a natural look. Bones and details. The hand also has a bone structure that influences its shape. These bones start from the wrist and extend all the way to the fingertips. If you hint at this structure in your drawing, it will add depth and realism. As you can see, I like to keep all these construction lines visible throughout the process. I feel that add character and texture to the final drawing. Don't worry about making mistakes. Your first lines don't have to be perfect. Drawing is about practicing and refining. Even after sketching 100 hands, I still find myself redrawing lines to get them just right. It's tempting to leave a finger as it is, thinking you can't do better. But don't settle. Keep refining. It's worth in the end. Shading and adding depth. Once your sketch feels complete, it's time to add shading. Shading brings volume and makes your drawing pop. Look at your reference hand or imagine where the light source is. Add shadows in the darkest areas, like the folds where fingers bend or the edges of the palm. Use light, even strokes for softer shadows and heavier strokes for darkest areas. I recommended shading in one direction for a cleaner look. Personally, I rarely cross-hatch in my hand drawings, but feel free to experiment with what works best for you. Outlining and finishing touches. Now comes my favorite part, outlining and adding details. This is where the drawing starts to stand out. Using a softer, darker pencil, I emphasize certain lines, making some thicker and bolder than others. This technique creates contrast and directs the viewer's attention. You can also add small details, like wrinkles where finger bend or even sketchy lines extending beyond the drawing to create a sense of motion. Hands are rarely static, they're constantly moving, and adding these sketchy lines capture the dynamic energy. I also darken the fingertips and shade around the nails for extra dimension. Don't forget to add texture or subtle marks to make the hand look more natural and less flat. Final cleanup. Once everything is outlined and shaded, you can erase any construction lines or smudges you don't want in a final piece. My own hand tends to smudge the paper as I draw, so I like to clean up with an eraser to keep the drawing looking sharp. And there you have it, a finished hand drawing. Every time I draw a hand, I never know exactly how it will turn out. But that's the exciting part. Trust the process and be patient with yourself. Over time, you'll see incredible process. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and find it helpful. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you want to see more art tutorials. See you in the next video.